y'all better strap up and fasten your seatbelts. But I want to thank the friends of the Sam Houston Breakfast Club for inviting me here to speak to you today and talk about my journey. It was a long journey, and Frederick Douglass has a quote: "If there's no strength, no struggles." I told my wife I need my glasses. If there's no struggle, there's no progress. And I took this to heart. I grew up in a family. My mom's name is Carol Ward. She was a jazz and gospel vocalist. And we both actually went to this church. She sang in the choir. I tried to sing in the youth choir. Miss Burns was the choir director. And I saw Miss Burns years back. And she had the nerve to tell me, "Man, hi Michael, I remember you in my choir. You sounded so good." And I'm like, "Miss Burns, you never lied. You was a big Christian." I know I couldn't sing. And I had two uncles. My whole family, we migrated to Tremont Temple Baptist Church on the River Brown. And I had two uncles, my Uncle Charles and Uncle Ralph Ward, both sang with the Tremont Temple Harmonizers. So music has always been in my blood. My mom used to take me as a kid to her band rehearsals, her jazz band rehearsals. And I would sit up with these old guys. Some of you might remember some of these guys. Frank Garrett, Cephas, and all these old guys. I thought they were old guys. Now I'm the old guy. But, and these guys used to take me, well, they taught me a lot of things. So I went to Bella Cameron. I got classmates in here, went to first grade, and they still with me. So it's always good. That's the difference between growing up in a spot where you know people that knows you. I've been in New Orleans 40 years, but I'm from San Antonio. My friend said we're gonna have breakfast. I said, I hope it's some enchiladas. Y'all remember the Wednesdays, boy, in school. If you skipped school, you came on Wednesday. But I'm gonna tell you, I had a wonderful thing. So now I'm gonna answer the question. And this is the question I get no matter where I'm at, no matter what country I'm in, no matter whether it's a radio interview or a TV interview. Everybody wants to know, how did you end up playing the violin? And I'm gonna share it with you right quick. When I left Bella Cameron and went to Raleigh, you know, we call it Raleigh. Raleigh Junior High. So my mom, I was a piano player and I went to read music. My mom said, take orchestra. They'll teach you how to read music, teach you how to play piano. So I signed up for orchestra. When I got an orchestra, Mrs. Snyder was the teacher. She said, I don't teach piano. This is orchestra, strings. Right away, I was like, nope, I'm going to the band. I'm going to Mr. Washington, George Washington, the band director. Y'all remember him. But Mr. Washington said, I don't have no room for you. He said, it's just, be filled up. So I had to decide on what I was going to do. I could either stay in orchestra or take one of the classes like homemaking. And I don't know. But being that I was already musically inclined, he said, what instrument you want to play? I really want to be a bass player, but my fingers are not big enough. And I ended up with the violin. I said, I'll play this for a year and then I'll go into the band. But I excelled real fast on the violin. My teacher was a man named Mr. Snyder. He was an older white guy. very rigid. He had a stick, looked like a broken violin bow. He made sure we had the proper posture. You had to have your fingers straight out, and if you didn't, he'd pop you with that whip bow. If I saw him today, I'd pop him back. I ain't gonna lie to you. But he taught us how to have proper posture. So in Raleigh, I decided to join up audition for the San Antonio Youth Symphony. And I made it. I made it. I was good. So I got the symphony, and when you're in the San Antonio Youth Symphony, the next level is the San Antonio Youth Philharmonic. That's the more advanced kids. And I played the youth symphony for a minute, and they was like, no, you don't belong here. We're gonna move you up. So now I'm this kid with these older kids. And I'm lighting them up. I'm like, okay, let's go for it. But it was a great experience for me to learn how to play from these older kids. And I did that all the way throughout high school, actually. But now, when I graduated, we didn't even do graduations. Did we? From junior high school? I was gonna say, if y'all did, I skipped that day. I went to school that day. But anyway, now, I went to Sam Houston, and this is where things started to change a little bit. I was still in the orchestra. I was on the tennis team, and at Sam Houston back in the days, the orchestra and the band were two different entities. When I first got there, it was some guy, when I say some guy, I don't remember him. He was the band director. And Mr. Burnell was a street teacher, orchestra teacher. But honestly, we thought we were better than the band students. And we really weren't. No, I'm not. I'm just saying, we had some great band musicians, don't get me wrong. But we was winning contests. Out of every contest we entered in as an orchestra, we won first place. And that's from 6th grade all the way throughout high school. But I was a bit, back in my 9th, 10th grade years, those was a little rough years for me. Now, I'm going to symphony rehearsal, but I'm hanging out in the streets, thugging with my homeboys, as they say. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still a knucklehead and a thug, but I'm a well-dressed knucklehead and a thug right now. But anyway, I met this guy, I met him at the gas station, and he knew who I was. His name was Charles McKinney. This man changed my life. And sometimes it makes me want to tear up, because had it not been for him, I wouldn't know what I would be doing right now. And he said, come get my band. I didn't play anything for the band, I played the violin. And he put me on mallet percussion, vibes, marimbas. And when we had the band, you couldn't tell us nothing. We had a band, we was proud. And Mr. McKinney became like, I would say, like a father figure to me. He changed my life. I saw one of our counselors in here earlier. Is she here? Miss Lewis, where you at? Miss Lewis was our counselor, and I remember so Kenny and him, I started doing the grades, we would work together. And Miss Lewis, never forget, it's like my 10th grade, maybe 11th grade year. I went to Miss Lewis, I said, Miss Lewis, I want to go to college. She looked at me like, yeah, right. But at that point, I changed it around. I was like, you know what? I don't want to be like these guys in the street, my so-called homeboys. I started doing my work. Plus, you don't want to be the dumbest person in the band anyway. Y'all, I didn't want to be that person. So she said, well, where are you thinking about going? I think I said I was going to Grambling first. I already talked to TSU, Mr. Butler. But I heard a guy from Southern University Jazz Ensemble named Wesson Anderson, saxophone player, we call him Warm Daddy. And he came to our school, and man, I was like, he's a grown man in a teenager's body. That's how good he could play. So I chose to go to Southern University. in Baton Rouge. We call it on the yard, if y'all know anything about the swag. I got to Southern, I had never ever heard of jazz violin, never. All I knew was classical. When I got to Southern, I said I'm gonna be a guitar player. I didn't see any financial stake playing violin. Like, you can't make no money playing violin, especially playing classical music. And I got to Southern and I was gonna be a guitar player, and this is for real. I studied with this great man. He's a legend, one of the top jazz clarinetists in the world. He was. His name is alumnus. So this is, all the freshmen, we show up and he said, look, we're gonna play some blues. Everybody pull your guitar out. We had 3 or 4 guys who could really play guitar. And he said, all the freshmen, y'all get up in the front. And when I say I sucked, I was horrible. And Mr. Back, he came to me, he said, son, tomorrow, leave your violin in your dorm room and bring your violin. I'm gonna teach you how to play jazz. And that's how I got started. Then I started hearing great musicians like Jean-Luc Ponty, Noel Pointer, and then after doing history, they had Stuff Smith, Ray Nance, who played with Duke Ellington. So I was in change. When I heard, mainly Noel Porter was my biggest influence. So I started studying violin, jazz violin. And you have to put in the work because classical and jazz violin is 2 different things. One style is classical, and jazz that really screwed up my classical chops because I'm playing a totally different way. But that different way has allowed me to feed my family, in other words. So after college, we just trying to perform. And I put a band together. And here's the thing about the band, we had about 7, 8 people in this band. And I was the worst one because I didn't understand jazz like I do now. But you know, even back then, you got too many people in the band, and nobody eating. I remember we did a show at LSU, and I think it was a talent show. We got first place. Won some money. There were so many of us in the band, we went to, was it Pizza Hut? We ordered 2 pizzas. We have enough money to pay for it. The lady felt sorry for us, and she took over, she paid for us. But those are the struggles. Then when I started getting out and performing, you have to understand, I didn't have a blueprint. I didn't have nobody before me, because I got 2 friends over here, 2 dear friends. And one went to Sam Houston, the other one, I don't know where he went, from the country or something. But Mr. Johnny Moore, who played for the San Antonio Spurs, had a great career, and my good friend Ovi Dotson. Now, these two guys, great friends, but they left here, and they went to University of Texas, but they had people before them, you know, some great, like George Gervin, a lot of people. But Ovi had Curly Neal, all the bands, I don't remember the names. But they got there, when I came out, you gotta understand, I'm going to these nightclubs, I'm trying to get work. Because you know when you're in college, you're hungry. You hungry. That cafeteria food just ain't gonna get it. And I think Southern, we might have had the worst cafeteria food out of all the HBCUs. But it was good when you're hungry. But you go to a club and you try to, you know, convince them to hire you. And the first thing they're going to ask, well, what instrument do you play? play the violin. Oh, no, thank you, we good. For like, oh no, we okay. So now you gotta prove yourself. And I'm gonna tell you in my career, ain't nothing I love more than proving myself. I'm telling you, I've opened up concerts for everybody over the years. When I say everybody, Frankie Beverly, Mays, you name it. And when I'm opening that, my goal is, you better bring your A game, because I got mine here. I'm gonna make it work. Now, the flip side of that is, when you become the headliner, and the band is opening up for you, they doing the same thing to me. They want their record deal. But over the years, I was able to establish myself and start building a career. Now, I've been, as a recording artist, we'll talk about that. And Fran said over 100 CDs, it's well over that. I think I'm over, maybe over 300 CDs as a special guest artist. I have how many? 8, working on my 9th. And then, one thing I was taught, and that was taught by Mr. Batt. We call him Mr. Batt. He said, don't be stuck in one genre of music, because you keep yourself in a box. I got the best of both worlds. I'm from Texas. So I play, well, when I'm at home, I don't play the violin. I play the fiddle. I'm a fiddle player here. If I'm in West Louisiana, I'm doing Cajun music. If I go up to Tennessee, I'm playing country and western music. If I'm playing the blues, I'm playing the blues. But New Orleans is one of those cities that is a very intense and diverse city. Just like here. San Antonio, we have our own culture. And I love the culture here. I should have gotten a mariachi band. That's the only thing I can learn. I don't speak Spanish. If I spoke Spanish, I put on a little tight band. They go ahead. Because I went to high school for a minute, and they had a mariachi band. I don't think we had enough Spanish people at Sam Houston, musicians, to start a mariachi band. But when I was in Louisiana, what I love about the city is they have a very, very unique culture. You know, we have our own food, and I say our own food. I've been there so long, I'm from there, but we have our own food. We have our own music. We have our own culture, and it's a very, very diverse city. I got bad sinuses, that's why I'm quite now. But New Orleans is a city of legacies. When I say city of legacies, we have some of the baddest families in music. We'll talk about it. But throughout my career, I've played with some of, like she said, I played with presidents. And I'm gonna tell you, I always laugh. I played for President Bush singing. And this man, I respect. I respected him. And I was scared to even mention, hey, excuse me, I'm going to the restroom. The reason why I would tell him, because he might come in there and take pictures and put it in the Snap News. Mr. Eugene Coleman, y'all know what I'm talking about. Mr. Coleman made my career. If I wasn't in no other paper, I was in the Snap News. And so the gig I did for President Bush, it was here, the convention center, and they didn't have no black people. You know, Mr. Coleman was the political guy. He went there and said, look, if you don't put no black people on this, we're gonna shut it down. And I guess they believed it. They called me. then I was able to play for President Clinton. I was in New Orleans. And then I guess my proudest moment is I was able to play for Barack Obama. That's my proudest moment. But when we talk about legacies, New Orleans has so many legacies. I was able to play with a gentleman who he's the first artist to win a Grammy Award, one in jazz and one in classical, the same year. And then he's gone on to win about 10, 11 Grammys. He's a trumpet player from New Orleans, and he comes from a family of musicians. I mean, his brother Branford was the host of The Tonight Show. It's a bunch of them. And his name is Wynton Marsalis. And Wynton called me up one year and said, musicians, we're kind of crazy. And he called me up late at night. He said, you got eyes to come to New York. Who is this? Oh, this is Wynton Marsalis. Click. I know that ain't Wynton Marsalis. He called me back. He said, man, this is Wynton Marsalis. You want to come to New York and play? Of course. Went up to New York. He was at the Lincoln Center. Wynton wrote this ensemble. It's about 3 hours long, called Blood on the Fields. And he featured me on 2 or 3 songs. And we played it, performed it at the Lincoln Center. A couple of years later, we go back and we record it, put it on record. Well, this record, Blood on the Fields, became the first jazz record to win the Pulitzer Prize. Yeah, and I'm featured on that. And it's all about people you meet, because after that, I did some of the music for a movie called Interview with a Vampire. And also did some of the music for another movie called Rosewood. Yeah, very good movie. But in New Orleans, when I say legacies, we got the Marsalis family, which a lot of people know who they are. Then, of course, we got the Neville brothers, Aaron Neville, and all his brothers. Then we got other, like this young man who's coming around now, his name is Trombone Shorty. I knew this kid when he was a kid. Now he's doing big, big things. Who else we got? Baptiste brothers. Oh, the Jordan family. These are legacies. And that's what, in New Orleans, they cultivate their young musicians. When I was at Southern trying to learn how to play jazz, we used to go into the bar rooms. And that's when these old, but a lot of them passed on. But these guys were musicians who played with Fats Domino. They were legends. But you know what they always did was invite us in. Come in, play. Now go home and work on this. Now when you come back next time, if you didn't work on that, they're gonna tell you did not practice. And Mr. Baptiste in Southern, his #1 thing at Southern University for music students, if you're not practicing 12 hours a day, you're not trying to be a musician. Yeah, and he was serious about that. We'd be standing away in the music hall, and he'd come out and see us talking. Be like, see, y'all over there running your mouths, you could be in there practicing. Well, I wouldn't do it for 12 hours a day, I'm sorry. I might do 7 or 8. But when he asked, hey, I was up all day. Practicing. Ain't happening. But when we talk about legacies, I want to build my legacy. And I'm fortunate because, like I said, I didn't have a blueprint. I didn't have nobody before me. And now I'm building my own legacy. You know, and I'm proud of it. And everybody said, well, did you make it before, Tim? See, when you have somebody to give you a blueprint, it's easier. I got 2 sons, and they chose to follow in my footsteps. My oldest son, his name is Sean, and he's touring, for real touring. How many CDs Sean has out here? He has several. And he's a phenomenal, he's a 10 times better musician than I am. Of course, I'm not going to tell him that. Don't you tell him either. But he's writing, producing, and can't be nothing but proud. But to make it even more proud, come here, son. This is my son, Cortez. We thought of Cody. And Cody decided to follow in my footsteps and play the violin just like me and his brother. And what do? I'm making him play. Y'all want to hear him play? Yeah. We put a group together, and I want you to understand, this group is making, we're going to make history. Not because it's a family playing violin. This is a family of 3 generations. Black men who all play the violin. How often do you hear a black violin player? It's not many. I thought I was one, and the good thing is I'm fortunate because I've influenced so many young musicians. I hear violin play, they popping up all over the place now. And all of them will say, I influenced them. I can't be more proud to hear these young boys playing like they're playing. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna play one with them.
Hey, y'all either come up front or get on the stage. Can't see y'all back there. I can't hear. Yeah. Either come out front or get on the stage. Can't see y'all back there.